All right, James 1:6. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. All right, so what that means is, if you boys got any doubt in you, if you got any doubt, you need to get that doubt out of your mind. You need to get it out. You need to have faith. Get rid of the doubt. Have faith. Because you will succeed if you walk in faith. It says without faith, it's impossible to please God. So you got to have faith, and you might also need to renew your mind if you've got doubt. Renew your mind and get those thoughts of doubt out of it, and think positive thoughts. Like we're gonna go Friday night and we're gonna win. It's as simple as that. This is for the region championship, so let's go out there and win the game. Have faith and get rid of the doubt. That's about all I got.
Coming to you live from Studio G in Hickman, Tennessee. I'm Rusty B.
And this is Paul Martin, and you're in the huddle. Hut, hut, hut.
All right, Paul. Ready to do another show.
Yep.
Got a big game coming up this week. Played a good game last week. Got a W.
Yep. Secondary.
Had a good trip.
Yeah, we ate at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. That's twice this year we've stopped at a Chick-fil-A. I love that place.
I do too.
My kids love it. My wife loves it. It's just a great.
Paul loves it because he loves chicken.
We're going to do something a little bit different this week, Paul. We're going to just do a little shorter version of the show.
That's cool.
Pickett County, not a lot of excitement when you talk about Pickett County. We knew that last week.
I think they really caught us by surprise because
their little quarterback threw for 334 yards on us.
And your son was accounted for 150 of that.
I think we counted up. I rode my son the whole way to the house, from the school to the house. I just, he made a couple good tackles. I was proud of him. Damian Franklin had a big tackle. Some of them younger guys, Dalton Stallings almost got a pick six. A lot of people that maybe didn't get to go to the game. We kind of shined on them, but their starters did score on our starters, which kind of surprised us, as you were saying.
But we put 56 points on the board. Big night.
We did. Our offensive unit got what, 49, or they get them all?
They got 49.
They got 49 of them, I know. And I think they actually come in, maybe got the last or something, got us down. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they might have.
They might have.
Actually, Taylor Thaxton got a touchdown.
He did. There you go.
So
kid's a good athlete. He played. Those younger guys.
So really, they accounted for 7, and then Taylor got 1.
Yeah, they really got to. They got to play a lot. They played most of the second half there, and that's good to get them some experience. The one thing I was impressed with is Braxton had 164 yards. Of course, he didn't carry the ball that much.
12 carries.
And we did something we hadn't done a whole lot since the Watertown game. We come out in the spread and threw the football, which was good practice.
And I believe our quarterback had 176 yards and 3 touchdowns. So
improvement on that.
He had his best passing game of the year.
And we had a couple receivers that could have got some touchdowns. We threw the ball around and just overthrown passes. A few of those. But some receivers
I don't know that it was as much overthrown as he stopped running. He might have stopped running on the play.
We did have one player stop running, but one time in the end zone, I know I saw it overthrown. I think we had Ray was in the corner of the end zone, nobody around him, wide open, and just missed him. But a good performance by him, solid, and maybe it'll build a little confidence.
McKinley stepped up and made a catch or two.
McKinley did. He sure did. Of course, Bill was probably the standout receiver. He had
two touchdowns, and then
he had 4 or 5 catches, or
The paper had him listed 4 catches, 121 yards, and 2 scores.
So he had a big game, and of course we had some other players. Of course,
Dalton Stallings had a catch for a touchdown as well, and a pick six, or not a pick six, but down to the 7-yard line.
Defensively,
then he had a trap play or 2 for a touchdown. So Dalton played well.
Yeah, we even got a quarterback sneak for a score. So, we had some players that actually got some, it's a good way to get some kids some little notoriety. Braxton is going to outshine most of these players, and they know that. It's no secret. He's the scoring machine, and it's a team sport.
But it's always a good opportunity, though, to get these young kids in there and let them get some.
It is. It really is. And,
I thought blocked well.
I thought we played well. Our secondary really I was kind of let down a little bit on them because giving up 334 yards. And like I said, I don't know how many yards was. I just said 150. We were talking about it before the show. I told you I was ragging my son. He played a little bit of cornerback and he got burnt a couple times. And what I was trying to explain to him is, son, sometimes it's better to get a pass interference call than to give up a touchdown. Of course, you don't have a whole lot of experience in that. And even our older guys, if I would give them the same advice. It's much better to give up a 15-yard penalty as it is an automatic first down as it is 6 points. Eventually, they run out of real estate, and our run defense is playing pretty good football. So our secondary, I hope they had a good week practice because we're going to need it Friday night against Joe Burns. We're going to talk about that. We're going to close this out here. We're going to keep it, 4 or 5 minutes. We got a special treat for all our fans. If they haven't watched, this will be the episode that they watch because it's going to be shorter and it's going to be the greatest thing that ever hit the internet. Paul Martin says he is going to break the internet this week.
That is correct.
He's got a special treat for you, but we spent a lot more time on that than really the show than we've ever spent on any show, I believe.
That's very true. But you fans are really gonna like this treat, so it's gonna be well worth the time we spent.
Think we have a few fans that's gonna enjoy it thoroughly. But anyway, closing thoughts on Pickett County. Secondary needs work. My closing thought: get to practice this week.
Right, and bring your popcorn, fans, and show some excitement because the team's going to need it.
We got a big game coming up. So Pickett County's behind us. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Right.
You're watching In the Huddle. Hut. Hey, man, Reno Bud here, man. Just wanting y'all to check out. If you ain't friends with me on Facebook, I want you to get over there right now and join Reno's Facebook page. Right there on Carthage Junction, man. He's going to check in right now. We're checking in. And maybe do a safety check-in. I checked in safe at the hurricanes that come through Florida. I checked in safe at Carthage Junction just to let all my friends know that I was safe. So, anyway, man, if you like Facebook, do that. Now, one other thing I want you to do, and this is what you need to do, is go over. And you going to do this right here. Hang on a minute. They got confused, it said. But we're going to go over and we're going to type this right here in. Because they are obviously winners 3 times over. They got a www. And you're going to go over here and type in Gordonsville Drugs. And you're going to like them too. And look, 4.8 stars, 64 reviews. That's almost a 5-star rating, which is awesome. No other drug dealer in this state gets a 5-star rating, I promise you. Not in this area anyway. And you can go over there, like I said, they got trinkets and whatnots and stuff like that. They even got Gordonsville Tiger shirts. And this is your go-to place, man. Go out there, get you some Gordonsville Tiger shirt. Now, I'd like to have this and then about a 4X. If they got that, maybe I'm that mama on game day or whatever that says. I like to get that and maybe a 4X. But you can go on there, read some of their reviews, man. Great place to go visit. You're going to want to do that. They even got winners for stuff. They won a basket. Now, I'd like to win one of them baskets because I like to win anything, won a turkey one time on 104.1 FM over there in Carthage. I won 3 turkeys, had to put 2 of them in different people's names and then go over and get them. I cheated a little bit, but, I love the radio call-in shows. That's what I do all day. I just sit around and I try to call in and win tickets to, like, Sticks and stuff like that, to concerts and you know that. But there's only one concert I ain't never going to. Jason Aldean, not going, don't like his music, and obviously I don't think nobody else does either. But just going to throw that out there, not going to any Jason Aldean concerts anytime soon. But look, if you need a stadium chair, and look, all these proceeds go to GHS, Even got the Tiger Tie Beanie Baby, TYGER, Tiger Beanie Babies. If you want them, still popular, get you one of them. And this chair right here is awesome. Real comfortable. I wish they's about a foot wider than my big hind end fit in one, but still, look at there, $50 each or 2 for $90. All proceeds go to the school. You can't beat that. And they've been in business for 10 years now. I've had this drug dealer for 10 years. And most time drug dealers will come and go, but my drug dealer is here for the long haul. So, anyway, get on out there to Gordonsville Drugs, talk to Amy, and she's going to fix you up. And she'll get you pain pills, 683-4400. She got you stuff for your pain pills, if you want to get a little hammered there on Saturday night. She got, if your blood pressure gets a little up in the ball games, she's got all that. She'll take care of it. Even got pocket knives. If you like pocket knives and stuff like that, John Deere stuffs and just all kind of little trinkets in there. You can find Indian bracelets, maybe some stuff like that, from the 1800s or whatever. But get on out there to Gordonsville Drugs, 615-683-4400. Tell them Reno Bun sent you, and I'll be hollering at you.
All right, welcome back to In the Huddle. We're getting about ready to talk some Joe Burns football with you guys.
Hut. All right. Big game coming up Friday night. It's a huge game. Joe Burns coming in with they got one loss in the region. We've got 0 losses. They're going to be playing football. They know what's at stake.
And we do too.
That's right, we do too. They want to win the region. To win the region, we got to beat them and then Salina. Correct?
Correct.
Is there anybody else in the mix? Jackson County's other game.
That's a non-region game, so it don't mean as much.
We got three games left. 4 games if you count the playoffs. We've made the playoffs.
Yes.
It just matters which lane we're going to be in. And when you get an HOV lane, which is number 1, you can mojo on through traffic. And it's a little easier time. Not going to be easy when you get to playoffs. We all know that. But you put yourself in a better position. So, keys to victory, Paul. We watched a little video on them. We know they got some athletes. They've lost one game, which was to who?
Monterey.
7-0, though. In the rain. And it was in the rain. And I really think that Joe Burns has a better football team than Monterey. I still think we got a better football team than they do. Secondary is going to have to step up. They're not gonna be a huge passing threat on every down, but if they watch the Pickett County game and even Monterey, they threw the football well on us. So I mean, both of those teams.
The key to victory, in my opinion, is just we got to pack in there like a pack of hyenas and attack the quarterback.
Attack the quarterback
and the running back.
You watched the movie earlier today
named Cujo. And that,
you were using Cujo as a reference. You always use movies as reference, like Ernest P. Worrell, and I don't want to hear you hollering out Cujo Friday night.
I won't. But anyhow, I did watch that movie Cujo, and little dog started out Saint Bernard, and he started out a good dog.
They're big dogs.
Actually, the big dog, yeah. But the big old Saint Bernard, and this ain't Beethoven I'm talking about either. It's a different Saint Bernard. But he's a big old dog, and he was a good dog on the start, and he went chasing a rabbit through a little rabbit hole or something, and there was a bat bit him on the nose, and then he become a bad dog and ferocious, and he started attacking.
So he was rabid.
He was rabid.
Well, essentially what you're saying is they need to be like a rabid Cujo.
Like a rabid Cujo, yeah.
You're going to hit somebody like a rabid Saint Bernard Friday night, and you're going to be after somebody, right?
Yeah.
Terrorize them. He terrorized the people that lived in that house.
Yes.
I mean, at one point, he wouldn't even let them out of the car, right?
No, he wouldn't. They stayed in the car. So that's what we're going to have to do essentially Friday night. Keep that quarterback in the pocket and harass him the whole way.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to try to run the football, and when that fails, which I think it will, they're going to throw the football. So our secondary is going to have to be ready. That's how I see the game going. They're going
Bottom line, if we're analogizing this to that movie, they're going to come. We're going to have to get. They're going to come out of the car. They're not going to stay in the car the whole game. Right. They're going to come out of the car, and when they do, we got to attack them.
It's like any other football game. They're going to look for something to work. I have a feeling our run defense can stop their running game. They got a good running back, number 32. He played for them last year.
Barnhart.
I think he may be a junior. He's got a brother that's a senior, plays on the line. So, I mean, they got some. I think on the front five, we got the advantage Gordonsville.
They got a couple of big kids.
Running back, I think there's no comparison. Our running back's way better. And just in that fact alone, I think we should have the edge, barring mistakes. If they have to throw the football, our secondary needs to be ready. And, we gave up a lot of yards against Pickett County, as we talked about earlier. Even Monterey would have put some points on the board if they've been able to catch the football. And we was lucky to get out of there with a shutout. So, essentially, the secondary could be the key to victory in my breakdown of the game. And I looked across the board. I think we match up well with them. They got some good receivers. Number 23 can catch the heck out of a football. Cover him. He's going to catch the football.
Keys to victory.
Number 7, he can catch the football. He caught a few. And he's going to run the jet.
Keys to victory, we have got to... I think personally we've got to force some turnovers. We got to take some possessions. We got to take some possessions from them when they got the ball, and then when we've got the ball, we got to control time of possession and not turn it over ourselves.
That's right.
About as simple as that. And then when we're on defense, we just got to hit them and tackle them,
right,
and cover them on top of that.
Football is blocking and tackling, and I think we're going to block well up front. Where I think we're going to struggle is the tackling aspect in open field. I think in the middle, we can control the line of scrimmage, but can we let them run downfield and run wild? That's where Kojo's going to have to come in.
I think, personally, the passes that's really giving us problems, them little curl routes and them little short dump passes and all this. So I think if it's me, I'm going to try to jump one of them passes and take it to the house.
The deep ball has killed us all year, in my opinion.
But they're hitting these little short routes too, and then breaking tackles.
Essentially, you're right in a sense. But essentially, I'd rather them throw it underneath than throw it over the top, because that's how Pickett County scored. They hit us over the top. And really, as a safety, nobody gets behind you. That's the rule. And sometimes you match up with somebody that's a really good athlete that's fast, and you just can't hardly keep them from getting behind you. But last week I think we matched up well with in a man situation against Pickett County, and they just got behind us. And I don't know if it was just maybe somebody got lost in the mix or what happened, but essentially you can't let that happen. So
it didn't really happen until their second stringers come in, so that kind of tells me
they
were young. They were kind of young.
They hit the deep ball on our main team. That's how they scored 8 points. It was 49-8 at the half. It was actually 22-0 when they scored their 8 points. So I mean,
but they also had some success going around the corners on little counters and sweep out plays to the corners too, though.
Yeah.
For some yardage.
Preliminary analysis, or whatever you called that word a minute ago. Analyzing or whatever you said.
Yeah, well,
whatever. I'm going to do one of them analyzing or whatever you did. And I think that the key to our victory Friday night is going to be how well the secondary plays, because I have a feeling that we're going to have to we're going to shut down their run game for the most part. They're going to move the football a little bit. I still think we're going to shut it down, and they're going to be forced to throw the football. We need the time of possession. We was talking about that earlier. Is key.
And win the turnover battle.
And block and tackle. So, I think of all those things we do well is run the football and block and time of possession, but the things we don't do well is tackling and getting turnovers. We've had a few, but we need to win the turnover battle.
I mean, if you see them throwing the ball short, and you see that little curl route, or seeing them throw it to number 7, say on a little short route, and you see the quarterback telegraphing it, and you know the ball is going to number 7 on a short pass, go over there and jump that ball. Let's get that pick 6.
The ball's on the pick 6. I'd rather just, as long as we get the turnover, I don't care.
But I want pick 6, because that's the only thing we ain't had this year.
It'd be nice. Braxton's had to score most of our points, majority of them. And, he's a workhorse, but he don't get yards without linemen blocking. And that's proven in a couple games where we've struggled to block.
And another thing a lot of people don't talk about, field position, but a lot of teams are kicking us short on the kickoffs. And if they continue to kick us short, then there ain't no reason why we shouldn't score if we're getting the ball on the 40-yard line every time.
Yeah, I can see that.
And we basically are getting it on the 40 at a time, just about.
The punting game the other night, we had to punt maybe, once or twice. We didn't punt often.
Right.
But when we did, we punted well again. He's still kicking the heck out of the ball.
Extra points are still spot on. We missed one the other night, but we're still
I made an excuse
on.
for that. I got his excuse. He was kicking in the dark. It seemed like we scored all our points down that one, in the dark end zone. We had one lit up. We scored a couple touchdowns down there, but we had to kick the ball in the dark. So I'm gonna blame the ref. He didn't see it good. Maybe, I don't know, because it wasn't a bad kick. It was just maybe a little bit off.
But all in all, we know that the importance of this game, and we know that it's a big game, important. And we know that the region's going to be on the line more than likely, and we know that we got to be ready to play come Friday night. So,
well, the thing is, if we beat Joe Burns, how many losses does Salina have? Clay County, they have one
in the region.
Joe Burns has one. So if we beat them, that puts
them to 2.
That'll put them to 2 losses. If Clay wins Friday night, then we're tied. You know what I'm saying? They're up a game, right?
So if we give Joe Burns a loss, how many has Monterey got? Do they just got 2? Wouldn't that put Monterey and Joe Burns in a tie, and Monterey gets the edge due to beating Joe Burns?
Yeah. So this could throw Joe Burns way out of the.
So essentially, if we beat Joe Burns, then they could practically be last, couldn't they?
Did they beat Clay County?
They did beat Clay, but they would have 2 losses. So would Monterey. So wouldn't that put them back to maybe a third or a fourth seed?
That's right. Which could be a very good thing, because I think Joe Burns has a good football team, and when you send a good football team, they have a decent football team, I think. So when you send them to South Pittsburgh to play, or a Whitwell to play in the first round,
then we could possibly get them again, couldn't we? Yeah,
I'm not saying they're going to beat them or whatever. I'm just saying it works out better than sending a Monterey or a team we know that South Pittsburgh can beat down there. So it could essentially help out a whole lot beating Joe Burns. Because
then if they do go down to, say, a South Pitt or a Whitwell and win, then essentially we could possibly get a third game at home.
Yeah, it would benefit us big time to do that. And then, of course, we have to beat Salina, too. If we lose to Clay County, or lose to Joe Burns, they would essentially win the region. And Monterey, they're down to 2 losses, right?
Right, so Monterey'd still be out of it.
They would essentially be out of the picture if Joe Burns won.
But if we beat Joe Burns, we put Monterey possibly back in for a second or a third seed.
So Clay County, where would they? We'd still have to beat them.
Yeah.
Still some funny things can happen. We wrote down on paper a couple weeks ago the playoff scenarios. And, last couple years we've nailed it. But you never know. We waited last year until a couple games before the end of it before we predicted. And this year we may be a game ahead of what we did last year, a game or 2 ahead.
But we've predicted that we're more likely playing Copper Basin.
I think we've got a better football team than Joe Burns, and I think we got a better football team than Salina. But football is played on the field, not on paper. So
we'll have to wait and see.
You just got to wait and see. You got to play football, and you got to play like Cujo, right?
Right.
So there's still funny things that could happen, but if you want to get in that driver's seat, you have to win Friday night. And, it could be the first region championship if we win then and then against Clay County.
Since 2012.
Since 2012. We've been close.
I'd like to add to that, the last time we won the region, we hosted that state championship trophy. So that's another thing.
Golden balls and golden tees is what we're after.
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm not talking about the little golf game at the bar or whatever.
Right.
Right. But
I never was any good at that, by the way.
I wasn't either. But regardless, we got to go out tomorrow night or Friday night and play some football. And I think we can hang with Joe Burns. I really do. But it's going to take effort. So anything we was talking earlier. One more thing real quick. You was talking about the Wildcat. You asked me why we didn't get in the Wildcat. Well, Paul, I know for a fact that the Wildcat is in the playbook because I've seen Braxton run it in practice, and they practice it often, and it's just not been broken out yet. And there's probably a good reason for that. You want to keep a you want to keep the magic bullet in your pocket until you need it sometimes. So, maybe fans are wondering that why we're not in the Wildcat some, and it's in the playbook. It's there. So you just don't want to expose that too early.
And then if you need another play, maybe throw out the old double reverse option play and pitch it back to Braxton and let him run.
Yeah, something. Paul draw up something for you if you need a play.
If you need a play, just come on over to me, and I'll get you in some crazy formation that they ain't never seen before.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, bring your popcorn.
It's gonna be a show.
It's gonna be a show. And this is something else, Paul. If the fans will get out to this game and you get a home game, we was talking about this too. A key part of Gordonsville football and getting the kids excited to play is people showing up to the games. And sometimes, that's a two-edged sword. The kids have got to put forth effort, and then the people show up, win or lose.
And I'd like to see more. I'd like to see more out of the band. Well, I don't know about that though. I'd like to see more out of the band too. But I think the band has a tendency sometimes of playing at a bad time. They want to play. They want to play when we're on offense, and it distracts our kids and gets us delay of game penalties and everything. Play when they're on defense, band. Play when they're on defense. That way they can hear that noise and get pissed off.
Yeah. Well, there are certain rules in place for bands. A lot of people don't know that, and I don't know the exact rules, but
I like playing on defense. I like playing on defense better.
Yeah. Pearl Cone, they break the rules, but everybody's watching Pearl Cone's band when they come in because they don't come into halftime and they play the whole way in. There's no rules against playing the whole way to the stands. There's only rules about the gameplay and when you're actually in position, in your band's position.
But so that's another thing we can do to get the fans excited to hear the band playing and the cheerleaders.
Hey, the band is a huge part of the game,
and
them kids can play. I mean, they're doing a fine job.
And
playing.
y'all come on out to the game, or if you can't, it'll be on mydtc3.com, or you can listen on the radio on AM 1350.
You can listen
with Keith Williams and Pat Warren and John Williams with the stats, and they do a great job. But if you're at the game and you need a little extra noise, Paul Martin might even come up in the stands and shake the whole rafters.
You can. Another thing about listening to the radio, I had somebody ask me one time. 104.1 used to do the tune-in radio, and you could download that app and listen to 104.1 or AM 1350. But now all you have to do, if you're on a smartphone, it doesn't matter if you're sitting in the stands or what. If you want to hear Pat and Keith and all those guys, John, you can essentially just go to your app store or Google Play Store. If you got an iPhone, it's the App Store. If you got a Android, it's the Google Play Store. And you just type in 104.1, no dot, just 104.1, The Ranch. And it'll pull it up and just download that app, and you can go listen to either station during the games, whichever one's broadcasting. Because I don't know if it's 24 hours. I just know I listen to them sometimes during the game, and you can listen to that. Another thing me and Paul do after the games, and some of y'all might not know this, 104.5 The Zone has a heck of a show after the games, talking about scores from across. It's a scoreboard show, Tennessee High School scoreboard show, or whatever it's called. But, we listen to that a lot, don't we? We were so mad last week because we couldn't pick it up until we got all the way back to Cookeville.
Yeah.
And then the show was almost over.
I was aggravated.
So, I mean, that's a big part of our Friday nights is sitting and listening to that and getting all the scores.
Because we want to get the scores and know what's going on. Because this week, the big game we're going to want to know about is South Pittsburgh and Whitwell, because that's essentially a second round playoff game for us. So we need to know who's winning it.
If we win our region, one of them could be here second round.
So that's a score that I'm looking. That's a score I'm looking for on Friday night. Whitwell and South Pitt. Who wins it?
That's right. Look at that. So, anyway, any closing thoughts?
Just come on out to the game, support the Big Blue, and I think we're going to get the win and win the region. Go Big Blue.
That's right. Maybe Galen will keep playing the Eye of the Tiger the way he is.
Yep.
I like that.
I do too.
All right. I'll see you Friday night on Legends Hill.
Bring your popcorn.
Going
to be a show.
Thanks for watching.
Well, the Red Devils went down to Gordonsville. They was looking for a game to steal. They was in a bind and a game behind as the Ledgers gathered on the hill. They glanced across the field and saw the Red Devils looking hot. Then one jumped on the old goalpost and said, Paul, let me tell you what. I bet you didn't know it, but we're all football players too, and if y'all care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now, y'all play pretty good football, boys, but you give the Red Devils their due. We'll bet a kick until you go against your soul, because we think we're better than you. Paul said, we're the Tigers, and it might be a sin, but we'll take your bet. You're going to regret because we're the best that ever been. Tigers, buckle your straps and play your football hard, because hell's broke loose in Gordonsville, and the Devils deal the cards. And if you win, you'll get this shiny kick tee of gold, but if you lose, the Devils get your soul. Well, the Devils won the toss and said, we'll start this show, and fire flew from the old pigskin as he booted it with his toe. Then their band of demons joined in and played their old fight song, and it sounded like this. When the play was over, old Paul said, well, you're pretty good, old son, but stand there on the sideline and let us show you how it's done.
Hand off up the middle, run, Braxton, run. Them Devils on D can't tackle you, son. Receivers in the slot back looking for some dough. Toss up the pigskin, no, coach, no.
Them old Devils, they bowed their head because they knew that they were beat, and they laid that golden kick tee on the ground at Marshall's feet. Old Paul said, y'all come back next year if you want to try again. We done told you once, you sons of a guns, we're the best it's ever been.
Hand up the middle, run, Braxton, run. Them Devils on D can't tackle you, son. Receivers in the slot back looking for some dough. Toss up the pigskin, no, coach, no.